do we build happier, healthier, more human workplaces? To answer this question, it can be helpful to reflect on the moments in your life when you felt happiest and most fulfilled. For me, there are two periods that really stand out: getting married and when I was pregnant with my daughter. They both have common features: a clear purpose, clarity around accountabilities, a feeling of belonging and safety, greater confidence in the decisions I was making because I felt trusted, able to learn and grow. In many respects, the world has been designed to help us experience these elements. We have natural breaks in the year, night and day, changes in seasons, holidays, festivals to help build communities. Yet our complex nature as humans often interrupts and damages this. We follow the behaviour of others. We rely on cognitive shortcuts. Our models are old, built for a previous era of work. And this can mean that we end up feeling frazzled and unfulfilled. So I think this means that we need to purposefully design and keep strengthening the elements that help create workplaces where people can thrive. Based on research and studying the good and the bad in workplace culture, I believe that there are 5 core elements for happy, healthy, more human workplaces. The first of these is the workplace itself, creating the conditions where people can flourish. We need to have a foundation in terms of light, warmth, security as a prerequisite. We also need space for flexibility to enable choice, create a place that people want to come into. This involves defining rituals and traditions. Great communities always have these at the core, and they're consistent, fair, and they create a sense of community. At the core of all of it is integrity and fairness, defining the behaviours for success. Not just talking about what, but talking about how, and making sure that organisations tackle the human biases that we have. They want to bring the outside in, encouraging curiosity, bringing the best of the whole. And they have leaders who are true custodians of culture. They walk the talk. They spend time on the front line. They live and breathe the culture that they're creating. And they know that they need to keep improving it through feedback, listening, learning. They feel accountability for the conditions that they're creating. So that's the first one, which is workplace. The second one is about accountability. And really this is diving into understanding expectations about how we contribute. This can be challenging because things change and evolve constantly, and therefore it involves ongoing conversation. Some things that can really help here are talking about the purpose, finding our North Star so that there is a shared cause, broader meaning and purpose. Also focusing on outcomes and skills, not necessarily jobs and roles and set responsibilities. We need to be agile to flex to the environment around. And we need to make sure that the unsaid is discussed. The psychological contract that people draw in their own minds needs to be revisited very regularly, and an open and honest dialogue, in particular with managers, needs to follow. Importantly, we also need to make sure there is a ripcord that individuals can pull if they know that the way things are being done aren't ethical or sustainable. Creating channels for speaking up, showing that people won't feel alienated or pushed out if they do so, is so important. The third area is community. That feeling that we're in this together and equally valued is so important. Feeling part of something and experiencing belonging feels good because we get that rush of oxytocin. Social bondings also can create feelings of jealousy and suspicion if the group dynamics are threatened. And there are lots of great psychological experiments from many years ago that show that being part of something can simply improve performance. If you're part of a group, you want to contribute and give more. But critically, I think it's really important to remember that companies are not families. You don't fire or performance manage your own family members, and that's a really important distinction to make. Great communities have psychological safety at the base. People feel they can be themselves, they can share their true thoughts and feelings. Also, organisations value and really reward people who can build friendships. They value the journey, not just the outcome. And empathy is seen very much as the enabler. Being curious, not judgmental, as Ted Lasso very famously said, is a great attribute too in a strong community. The fourth area is all about empowerment. Feeling trusted to do the right thing is such a powerful aspect in a strong workplace culture. Partly because if we lack autonomy, our well-being and satisfaction decreases, and this can lead to learned helplessness. What we need to do is enable people to find and experience flow, the right balance between challenge and skill. When we feel immersed, time flies. It feels meaningful. We feel like we're making progress and making a difference. Toby Lutker, who is the Shopify CEO, also talks about charging our trust batteries, showing that the small actions and experiences within organisations can really charge or drain our trust batteries. And trust, obviously, is a key component within empowerment. So I think empowerment can be the secret sauce, but it is really an exacting recipe. Learning to let go, to let people in, allowing people to make their own mistakes so they can learn and grow is really important. And trusting people with the truth, treating individuals as adults, sharing the big picture, talking about numbers, figures, what might be, the parameters that we need to work within. Welcoming failure as part of the journey and regularly discussing things such as lessons learnt and sharing feedback is a key attribute of an organisation that's embracing empowerment. And the fifth and final area that I think is absolutely essential to happy, healthy human organisations is growth. When individuals feel supported and inspired to develop and grow. And this is something I think that we need to design much more for from the outset, designing for human growth. When we understand individuals, their aspirations, and enable continuous development, we can nurture kind environments, so not necessarily being overly nice to each other, but kind environments where people feel they understand what good performance looks like. They understand the rules of engagement or the guidelines for engagement, and they feel they can create a sense of community and memorable moments and strong contributions. Developing growth habits, so embedding within organisational cultures, things like practice runs or dry runs, stand-up meetings, having tools and moments for giving feedback following important interactions, being able to have honest conversations, creating social connections, having a laugh together, learning together are really great attributes and signs that an organisational culture has this element of growth really well ingrained. In addition, an organisation that's focused on human growth is focusing on the longer term. They value and reward long-term performance. Sticking to that North Star, the mission is aligned with their companies, and they look at signs of progress and don't get too distracted by short-term wins. Because, as Simon Sinek has said, the end never comes. We are playing an infinite game. In addition, they nurture potential. They objectively look to seek and understand all people, what they can do today, what they could do tomorrow. And this in turn creates such a wealth of data at a one-to-one and a group level that enables organisations who are looking at all 5 elements to really strategically plan how can they improve their workplace, how can they improve a sense of accountability, how can they build a stronger community, how can they enable individuals to feel a greater sense of empowerment and grow their careers and the company. If we purposefully design for and continuously improve these 5 areas, then I believe we can build happy, healthy human workplaces.